That's a good idea. I don't know what mine is. Good morning. We didn't even check and make sure that our picture's okay. Is our picture okay?
Yeah, it's
Good
great.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We're here.
This is it. We're doing a Monday morning Devo. We're going to read our book together.
Two codependence readings from the codependent book. Yay.
How do you describe codependency when you tell people?
Oh, you had a good question. I think someone said the other day, and I think I'll use this for my coda group actually, was like, sometimes it looks like independence, overly independent, and sometimes it looks like overly dependent. So
people?
Yeah, on people. And so my drug is others.
Yeah, I think that's a good definition. And I think that for me, I realized like if the world around me is not okay, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good way to be. Actually, it puts a lot of pressure on the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
So we should just read. I don't have any of those clever starting questions that John has, or
they're watching John Ruby. It feels like we're being tested.
So our husbands work together, so they're working, and you just need to ignore their comments if they start harassing us.
Mm-hmm. And we have a little human over there watching VeggieTales, and another one napping, and another one at school. And Vicky comes and helps me because I have a step group today, and she gets out of the house. So
anyway, it's pretty quiet here, so I can do my homework.
Yeah,
later.
So let's talk about removing the victim. Hooray!
Does this feel like the beginning of the week for you? I heard you guys talking about that at church yesterday. Does Monday morning feels like the beginning of a week for you?
Yeah.
So do you feel like you can set a reset button of like, okay, here we go?
I reset even throughout the day. This is how Josh and I used to do it when we first got married. We'd push each other's noses and be reset, and we would chase each other around the house, like trying to reset each other. And so
that's cute.
I thought we needed to bring that back again.
It's really cute.
So
yeah, because I think it's important to. Oh, there's Morgane. Good morning, Morgane. I think it's important, yeah, because I can get really discouraged and think like, oh, I had a terrible, whatever, and how do I restart? And so this is Monday. There's some practices that I've implemented into my life that I try to do every day, and I realized like, oh, I missed them like all weekend, and then I'm like, it's okay, it's Monday morning, and here I go again. Let's do this. And I recognize that. Like, I can't be like super rigid about stuff because that just brings out more irritability in me. Mm. But I have to like want to do these things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's helpful
because I know they bring me life and joy. And yeah, I told you I went off Facebook.
Yeah.
I realized it was just sucking the life out of me. I don't know why. Like, I just was like, I do want to see what people are doing, and I do want to, I feel connected, but it actually feels like such a superficial connection that I actually felt worse when I got off Facebook than before I went on it. So I went off Facebook. Anyway, so that's just a little shout out to anybody, because I know there's like 3 of my friends who watch. So feel free to message me and update me on your life if you want to.
It's good. All right, should we do this?
Read?
Sure. Okay. You can drink your coffee. Removing the victim. We are March 15th. So, don't others see how much I'm hurting? Can't they see I need help? Don't they care? The issue is not whether others see or care. The issue is whether we see and care about ourselves. Often when we are pointing a finger at others, waiting for them to have compassion for us, it's because we have not fully accepted our pain. We have not yet reached that point of caring about ourselves. We are hoping for an awareness in another that we have not yet had. It is our job to have compassion for ourselves. When we do, we have taken the first step toward removing ourselves as victims. We are on the way to self-responsibility, self-care, and change. And the prayer for today is, today I will not wait for others to see and care. I will take responsibility for being aware of my pain and problems and caring about myself.
Can you identify with that reading at all, Joanne?
Yes.
Oh, me too. So the victim thing, when did I first start to realize that I needed a lot of attention? It's a horrible way to put it, but I need a lot of attention.
Mhm.
And I wanted like the people around me to make me feel better. I wanted, like, I felt, especially early in recovery when John first got sober, but I carried it forever. Like, no, look at all the things that you did to me. Like, look at everything that you did to me. Even though I thought I had forgiven him, like, it was still like, but still there was like this piece inside of me that was like, no, look what you did to me. And so you owe me. And then in doing step work, I've realized I've carried that into like some other areas of my life too, of like, no, but look how much I can do for you. And like, you appreciate it. I had a great relationship with my grandfather who has passed away. And I spent the last couple of years of my life, in the last couple of years of his life, I spent a lot of time being his caregiver. And I really had to recently analyze and ask God, like, what motive did I do that out of? Did I do that out of like, I want to serve, I want to be kind, I want to be loving, or look how much I can do for you? Look what, or is it, you did all this for me. And so like, now I owe you, right? And so looking at the motive behind it, because often I was a victim. How do you know when, or what thought came up for you?
That I've been doing that even this week.
Oh no!
That's the thought that came up for me.
I like talking about 14 years ago.
This is just too real. I think that like it really is like, even at the beginning of being okay if others are not okay. I really struggle with that. Because, and I mean, the beautiful thing is like, having come into recovery and got to join a step group, I don't know, something like 15 weeks ago or something like that. And it's been helpful because it's really showed me how others have become God to me. And so others are constantly going to let me down. Others are constantly going to disappoint me and fail me. And I've said that myself. I've said that about other relationships where I feel like people expect a lot out of me, or I feel, perhaps even to use the word, like suffocated. I feel like, oh, like leave me alone. But like, it's because I think, others just they'll have this expectation. And so I have that same expectation on others. And I've told other people, I'm going to fail you. I'm going to disappoint you. But yet it seems like I don't play by my own rules. Like, I have rules out there that I believe in, but they usually don't apply to me, it seems like. And so, I think that was the big thing for me looking at this, was just like, I do this and I make myself a victim. And then it's like, and I know we've talked a lot about this and it's been talked a lot about here, but then it's like good old friend self-pity comes in, and good old friend despair likes to visit, and like all these things. And I work myself into this place of being a victim. And it's like, yes, I believe that people are victims. There is victim stuff that happens, but the problem is when you stay there,
right?
And you just stay in that mud hole of victimhood.
Yeah. And I heard one therapist say, some people will never be happy until their mother treated them well when they were 5. And for me, I realized, like, am I living like that? Am I never going to be happy until such and such happens? Like, or for me, it was a big example was how dissatisfied I could be with the world around me, and so that victim idea came into play because if nothing's ever good enough for me, if, John would joke and say, well, at least I'm not, doing cocaine, at least I came home, like, at least I'm coming home every night, where I'm sleeping. But, it's like I push the bar like higher and higher and higher. Oh, show me how much you love me now. Show me how much, no, now show me how much you love me. Like, do you really love me that much? It's like I was this pit that could just never be filled enough. I think, and that's exactly what you said of, that how did you worded it just a couple minutes ago? And that's what that made me think of, was like, yeah, I'm this pit that like you could probably do everything I ask of you, and then I'll want something more because I'll still not be okay.
Well, and I think too, like the thing that I was talking about of like, I see a lot of like need for like self-care and being okay with God. I never thought that was like really possible. I thought it was like kind of this imaginary thing of like, oh, that's nice. I've heard that about like, I've heard that at church on Sundays, or I'll read it in the Bible, or I'll read it, you know, in recovery literature or whatever. And just like, how do you take care of yourself? And I always thought like, and maybe this is the codependent thing, is like self-care just for me in my mind always meant like being selfish. Like, oh, let's do more for me because I already had enough demands. And whereas actually that's not true. It's, to me, like the self-care is like being responsible for myself and being responsible to like take care of myself, of my body, my soul, and my spirit. And so when that's happening, and the big thing for me has been like asking God, like, can you be my security? Because I get so insecure. And so then this stuff happens. And so God, like, can you actually just be that like security for me? So that way, like when this stuff happens, when the outside stuff inevitably happens, I can pause and just be like, okay, God, like, tell me what's true. And then I don't have to. I think it does. It really removes the victimhood, because it's just like victimhood really, I think, is an exchange between two people, as opposed to when there's an exchange between me and God. I don't think I would be as tempted to go there.
Yeah, because yes. I love that, because if I'm responsible for myself, which is self-care, that description of self-care is so good, because I realized self-help isn't going to help me. I can have all the knowledge in the world, knowledge. I can read these books. I can, do all these things, but like, it doesn't seem to settle from here to here, and the worst is when like I'm spinning out, or I'm having like a really bad day, or I'm just like, blah, my husband, like our relationship would just like get worse and worse and worse, like in my mind, right? I would just like, it would grow and grow and grow. And I start telling somebody about it. And as I'm telling them, speaking things out loud, I would realize like, this isn't really reality. Or, I'd start to realize like, oh, I have a part to play in this, and I'm really kind of responsible for this. And it wouldn't matter, because as soon as I'm back in my head, it's just like growing again. And now it has legs and a tail and horns again, our relationship. And I realized like that's self-help, is like that I actually have to like make this make sense. Whereas if I'm taking that to God, if I'm going to God and I'm saying like, okay, God, I don't know what to do with this. And I am taking care of myself, which means I'm getting to bed on time, which means I'm exercising, I'm getting outside, and I'm getting fresh air. For me, self-care has also meant implementing we call it a budgeting plan, a spending plan. And so if I'm taking care of myself, I'm actually like paying attention to the spending plan. We're having that conversation around money, those hard things. If I'm taking care of what are some examples you can think of too, of like, what's self-care for you in the last little while?
And I think it's also like you touched on really good stuff. I think it's like, for me, I think a lot of like daily rhythms, I like that. It's structure, I think, even especially for me in early recovery, is very important. And so I like to be able to, have my devos done in the morning and read and write. And I like to, and creative time. I think that's a really big one for me, is just like, I need to have joy. I remember someone saying like, if your recovery isn't fun, you're not going to do it. And so there has to be that like fun element, I guess, for me. And so sometimes that's like making bread. I really like making sourdough bread. I got on that train for COVID, and it was like, it's really fun. I like working with my hands. And so that's been fun. And yeah, I don't know. Just creating things, I think, is self-care for me, for sure.
That's good. I like that. We have no idea how long we've been talking. And I feel like we could just talk forever. So we'll just keep talking, but we'll maybe turn off the video. But I did want to say, Morgan brought up a good point earlier. She said a lot of shame can come from this, and I very much agree with that. And I know for me, a big part of what I had to do is I needed to be bringing those thoughts to God. You know, for me, journaling was really important, but also like every time I had a thought, like every time my brain wants to go to those dark places, I have to say, like, that's not the truth. And I say to God, like, what is the truth? Like, that's not the truth. What's the truth? And so a little part of, I think, self-care for me too has been conversations, but instead of just conversations that's been in my head, they're, you know, conversations with God and then conversations with like other people. When I have conversations in my head about people, but not to people, also we could do a whole other video on conversations about people, not to people, like with people, but not to other people. Those are bad. But also conversations in my head about people, but not with those people are just as like not helpful. Yeah. It's not helpful. It's not helpful for me to be thinking a bunch of things about John and never talking to John about that. It's not helpful for me to have conversations in my head about you, you know, oh, Joanne did this. And, oh, I can't believe she did that. And I'm thinking all these things in my head, but if I never say it to you, like it just grows and grows and grows and grows. And so part of my self-care has been like taking those conversations to God and then, you know, maybe journaling, but also like risking in my relationships and taking those things to other people. That's good. So today I will not wait for others to see and care. I will take responsibility for being aware of my pain and my problems and caring about myself. And so if you need a community to care with, to care with you, we invite you. We have a meeting on Wednesdays that's open for anyone. It's Wednesdays at noon Eastern, and we put the Zoom info up on our channel. And I feel like, and anyone is welcome, and we'd love to have you. Are you guys visible on? We have a guest. Apparently,
they couldn't help themselves.
Look at this. We have a guest.
Oh no.
Wow. Hi, guys. Good morning.
Where do I turn my head? There.
I can see you. I think I have to turn on your video.
Oh, unmute.
It'd be like,
oh wow.
I got muted.
You're unmuted.
Hey, we just noticed that we had a lot of input as well, and we're really smart ourselves. So we just wanted to come on and say today,
take over, control.
Yeah, we just wanted to control, but just let you know that today you are not a victim because you have a God that is fighting for you, and you don't need to become under a victim of the enemy. In Jesus' name. All right, bye guys.
Thanks. Have a good work day, guys. Thanks for popping in. Well, that was new. We've never done that before.
No, I didn't know that was possible. That makes me a little power.
Fun. All right. Well, oh, look, there's the time. 18 minutes. If you hung in here, thank you so much for hanging in and spending some time with us. And we hope that you got some thoughts to take away and think about through your day. Yeah. Have a great day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
I don't know how to make it stop, Joanne.
End stream.